that you guys thought I was done. Hmm. That I disappeared off the face of the earth. That I was never gonna review this series again. You're you're half right, to be honest. I mean, I didn't even see the next episode of Dragon Ball Super appear in my queue for this episode, and I didn't bother to check because I didn't really care at this point. I was just like, I was kind of over this series, but I figured there might be a small populace out there, just a very small one, that would still want me to critique this show. So, you know, I decided to come back and, you know, start off where I left off at. But I noticed that I lost a few subscribers over the past couple weeks just because I haven't made any videos. I'm going to reiterate, since those people didn't seem to get the memo, that I'm not doing this professionally. I do not intend to make a career out of this or anything. This is just me doing this as a hobby. So I will not be consistently doing this. If you have a problem with that, feel free to unsubscribe. I mean, it's no blow to me. I'm doing this for fun. This is a hobby for me. If you don't mind that, you can stay. If you do mind that, you can leave. That's up to you. Now that we got that out the way, let's try to get over and through this episode. So, I honestly, the first 5 minutes of this episode, I already wanted to click off of this shit, to be completely honest, because it's like I do not comprehend why this pig is still in my face. I do not comprehend it. It doesn't make sense to me. But they have Ribrianne and Goku have this little exchange, which ends in her telling us her goal is to make herself into a god. And I'm just sitting here like, A, I don't care, right? I don't care. No one in the audience cares. No one who's watching this cares. I, they act like this big reveal is supposed to mean something to someone. It doesn't. But let's go to B. Even if I did care, let's assume that I cared for a second, right? Why would you make yourself into a god instead of earning your way to a god? So, because you keep talking about your universe is all about love and this honorable stick, right? This is your thing. You're honorable. You care about love and all this other shit. So, you can't be asked to try to earn the position of a god. You can't do that. And even if you were to become a god via this manner, what would you be the god of? Would you be the god of destruction? Your your girl over there already has that job. Supreme Kai already taken. What what god would you become? A god of love? Who does what? I don't. Does anyone else just like think of this and just like there's a lot of holes in this logic here? Why? I don't understand why I even try to keep applying logic to this show. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've wasted your time. We'll move forward. I'm sorry. Anyway, they go to Goku and what his wish is going to be. What's his objective? Of course, because Goku has been written down to the level of a retard. He hasn't decided yet. He doesn't know, guys. He has no idea. He just wanted to do this tournament to fight. He didn't even give thought to what he wanted his wish to be. I guess. I mean, sure. Why not? Right? Why not? All this fighting, all this time that he's had up to knowing that this tournament was going to happen, hasn't even bothered thinking of a wish. Weeks, couple months, whatever. He hasn't thought about it. Who cares? Right? So, essentially, what happens after this is Ribrianne decides that she's going to use her full power, right? Her full power this time. It's going to get serious, guys. It's going to get real serious. Super serial in here, boys. So she decides, I'm going to use my full power, and that's when her girls, I'm sorry, not boys, her girls, Rosie and Cocoon-san, whatever the hell their names are, decide they're going to lend her their power. And the pig does something amazing. She evolves into a pig with wings that can fly. See, I know that there's supposed to be a joke in here, something about when pigs fly, but for some reason it's just not as funny as the writers thought it was gonna be. because I'm still annoyed that she's still on my screen for about 8 minutes of this episode. Literally 8 minutes of this episode was wasted on this exchange. Really? Re- really? Is this is So they continue this fight, right? And she starts firing her stupid love attacks as per usual. And Goku finally decides, like, I'm just gonna end this because this is a waste of time. I acknowledge that I have been wasting several minutes of everyone's lives watching this bullshit. So I'm gonna go Super Saiyan Blue for how many times is this? Is this the sixth time now? Because he has unlimited stamina. This is the sixth time, right? That he's going Super Saiyan Blue because he has unlimited stamina. He decides he's going to use Super Saiyan Blue yet again and drop kicks her into oblivion. And finally, she gets off my screen. Finally gets off my screen. And we get to see the hype that we have been waiting for about a dozen episodes. We've been waiting for this. Several dozen episodes. We've been waiting for this to happen. And finally, Goku and Jiren, they decide to have their little face off. And I would like to point out before I even continue, the musical score for this episode was amazing. Like, Loki, they added a new score just for this episode. I assume they've been saving it for this episode. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't particularly like this episode, but the musical score was good. Like, it was actually very, very good. Whoever made the musical score for this episode deserves a high five and a raise, because this shit was actually good. If you haven't seen the episode, I'm assuming that most people that are watching this have watched this episode, or you've been just avoiding it and you're trying to hear it through my perspective. But if you haven't watched the episode, if you don't want to watch it for anything else, just listen to the musical score. It was good. You can watch the episode for the musical score just at this part alone, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at how good it is. I'll just say that much. But basically, they have this face off, right? And finally, Belmont, he decides that he wants to, actually have a presence, because they haven't really given him much presence throughout this tournament. I mean, had his little lines here and there, but he uses telepathy to speak to Jiren. He says, "Yo, this is go time. Stop bullshitting. Let's get serious. Mop the floor with this boy Goku. No more games. Okay? He's been wasting all of our time, okay, for this hype fest, but we gonna get rid of this shit quick. Let's do this, right?" So we start off with Jiren. Apparently, his energy has enough force to send shock waves throughout the entire arena. I don't understand why this is supposed to be a big deal. Literally, Kale did the exact same thing by shouting. See, this is my whole problem with episode 100. By Rant going all the way back 9 weeks ago. Okay, remember that I already said that when you make an episode like that, when you establish that someone is incredibly powerful, anything else that comes after that is going to seem nothing compared to what happened before. Kale set some unbelievably unrealistic standard of power, like, very early in the tournament. Okay, she should have never been given that much presence. She should have never been able to be given that much power. And for that reason, this didn't seem that big of a deal to me, like, at all. It just seemed like, okay, like, I've seen this shit before. What else do you have for me, right? And Goku decides that right off the bat, he's gonna fire Kamehameha right at him. All right, so I'm like, this seems oddly familiar, and I keep getting Vietnam flashbacks back to that 100 episode, and I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, but you used a Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha, right? A Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha versus Kale. Okay? I get it that you were not using 100% of your power. But like I already went through in a couple episodes ago about how powerful Goku is. The last episode of this little series I'm doing for Super. Like, if we were to assume that scaling was constant, right? This guy is at least, like, in Super Saiyan Blue is like a freaking 8 million plus times power increase from his base form in Z. Like, it's an immensely high power boost. Okay, that power was simply not enough to beat her. She walked right through his shit at Super Saiyan Blue, despite that absolutely absurd power increase. Now he fires a normal base Kamehameha at Jiren. And did you expect that to work? Why? There's no real logical explanation for why he would do something like this. You were already in Super Saiyan Blue when you had kicked Rip Ryan. Why would you come out of that state when you know you would have to go back into it again? Like, are the writers just trying to build more hype? Because even then, that doesn't really explain anything. They're acting like Super Saiyan Blue is supposed to be this penultimate form, when not only has it been shown that it's not, since it's been bodied by opponents that are weaker than it, but apparently he's supposed to be getting a new transformation on top of that. This is not special. You're not doing anything. You're trying to build hype for the sake of hype. I don't comprehend the logic here. And even the Supreme Kai is like, why doesn't he become blue? Why? There's no reason. There's no rationale for it. He should have been using Super Saiyan Blue this entire time. There's no explanation for this. I could go as far to say that he should have been using Super Saiyan this entire tournament. And before you say, well, why would he be using Super Saiyan this entire tournament? It's because, do you guys remember back in the Cell Saga when Gohan and Goku mastered Super Saiyan? They were in Super Saiyan 24/7, even through sleep. They are several millions of times stronger now, and they can't do it anymore? Why? What's the explanation? And, you know, Krillin, the writers start doing this exposition things where people who don't really know anything about what's going on are trying to explain the story to us like we're children, right? So Krillin starts saying he's testing his own and Jiren's power. But yet again, we've already gone over that by the levels of power that has been set in this tournament already, there's no point in testing his and Jiren's power. Right? We've already established the echelon of power. We've already established it. Jiren is the strongest. Goku is the second strongest. But even if we take that out of the equation, Kale fought Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and Goku was able to do no damage to her. Nothing. Not a damn thing. He went Super Saiyan Blue. She walked up and just walked through his Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha. Then she palmed that nigga up like a basketball and threw him halfway across the ring. Right? Then she goes and attacks and starts going wild, and Jiren outright one-shots her. So, at bare minimum, nothing that he does to this point is going to work unless he uses Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Nothing. That's simple logic. You can apply simple logic to this and know for a fact that if he does not use Kaioken against Jiren, he will do nothing. Not a damn thing. And then this guy says they both see each other as an opponent worthy of enhancing themselves. How do you know this, Roshi? How do you know? Are you in Jiren's head? Cause I can understand you assuming that for Goku. You know Goku. Do you know Jiren? You haven't seen him until this tournament. You know nothing of his power. You probably can't even sense his power. Can you sense God Ki now? Can you read minds? Are you telepathic? No? Then shut up. After all this, the writers continue to do this building hype shit, right? So he goes from base, does nothing. Uses Super Saiyan, does nothing. Uses Super Saiyan 2, does nothing. I just explained this shit. This is not gonna work. None of this shit's gonna work until he goes Kaioken. Okay? I've already established this logic. Then he goes from Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan God. So now the writers have forgotten Super Saiyan 3 exists. I guess Super Saiyan 3 is not an important transformation anymore, even though it's the strongest of all Super Saiyan states. Whatever. I mean, I guess. He goes Super Saiyan God, right? And Jiren emphasizes that he is so powerful that he can block all of Goku's punches with one finger. And it kind of sent me back, right? It sent me back a little bit, because this reminds me very much of when Super Saiyan meant something. When Super Saiyan was actually a cool transformation. Because remember when Trunks came from the future and he killed Frieza? You guys remember that? And then he wanted to see Goku's power, and he starts swinging his sword at Goku while he was using Super Saiyan, and he put that ki in the tip of his fucking finger, and he blocked all those sword swings that just cut Frieza to bits. And he used one finger and he blocked all that shit. You guys remember when Super Saiyan was cool? I know this has nothing to do with the current fight, but I'm just like, you're trying, like, the writers are trying very hard to emulate what happened in Z, and they're pretending like I'm not gonna see this shit. I see the parallel. Okay, writers, I'm not dumb. I get it. You're trying to rehash the greatness of Dragon Ball Z. But here's the problem. You're failing at it. You're failing, and you don't understand why. The reason why is because you have not added anything to the series of substance. All you added are more numbers, more power stacked on top of power, more power stacked on top of power. The type of fighting has not changed. The type of light shows have not changed. The number of transformations that you added have changed. That's it. That's all you've done. That's all you're ever going to do. I can see this 200 episodes from now if this show even lasts that long. That's all you're going to do. Is just keep bullshitting new levels of power out of your ass and writing it into the story. That's all you're going to do. I know that's what you're going to do, because that's all you've done thus far. You haven't changed the way these guys fight. Because back in Dragon Ball, there were different ways that fights could occur. Even if people were stronger, you could use technique, battle intelligence to get around that difference of power. They haven't done that in this series. This entire fight is the personification of the problem with this show. They haven't done anything different. They haven't made it so Goku uses some technique and battle intelligence to make up the difference in power. No, anytime that there's a wall he can't overcome, he just finds a new transformation. Whether it's Super Saiyan God, whether it's Super Saiyan Blue, whether it's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, then Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10. He just keeps wanking it up further and further and further. That's not how you add upon a franchise. That's not how this works. And of course, he goes Super Saiyan Blue. Finally, he goes Super Saiyan Blue. And he starts apparently showing off his power Super Saiyan Blue, when I've just stated that he's gone Super Saiyan Blue 6 times at the bare minimum in the series. This might be the 7th or 8th time that he's used Super Saiyan Blue. And Kai over here from Universe 11 is acting like, it's like this is something new. This isn't fresh. This transformation has been abused and just used for hype measures every single time. Like now, when he uses this transformation, something cool is supposed to go down. I don't, I don't comprehend the logic here. Was this supposed to establish more hype? Like if they really wanted to show some hype and show that they actually gave a shit about the series up until this point, this man shouldn't have used Super Saiyan Blue more than twice. To be for real. Because the other Super Saiyan transformations don't mean anything anymore. Super Saiyan, he's never mastered Super Saiyan 3. He hasn't mastered Super Saiyan 3 yet. He mastered Super Saiyan. Didn't show that in this series at all. I guess he mastered Super Saiyan 2, but Super Saiyan 3 he hasn't mastered that. Didn't master Super Saiyan God, as he hasn't used it. He didn't use it the entire series after he unlocked it, except twice. The second occurrence, being in this episode, second or third occurrence. He hasn't mastered anything that he's learned. All these transformations just seem like the writers just, handing out freebies. Freebie power-ups. And I guess Belmont and Kai, they start talking, and Kai explains, right? If Jiren beats him in his full power state, right, the remaining warriors will lose their will to fight, and they'll see it's futile to stand up to Jiren. This is a solid strategy. This makes sense. Okay, we already established the echelon. Jiren number 1, Goku number 2. Okay, we established the echelon. But what bothered me is that Belmod says, like, almost like an inquiry, that Goku is a sacrifice to show Jiren's overwhelming power. But I thought that was the reason why you gave the order to Jiren to crush Goku. This wasn't in your plan? So you're telling me that you just wanted to crush Goku now for no reason? No established reason. This wasn't even a part of your plan. Then why did you give that order? You could have gave the order at any other point of this tournament. You chose now. Why? Does anyone not am I the only person that's seeing the fallacies in this? If this wasn't your main plan, if this wasn't your main objective, was to show that Jiren's overwhelming power was going to basically ruin anyone else's chances of winning this tournament. Because basically if Goku loses, that's it. Right? There's no one else that can beat Jiren to our knowledge. That you didn't even think of this plan. This wasn't part of your thought process. This entire time you've been sitting here doing nothing but watching. Spectating. I'm not gonna yell. I'm not gonna yell. No more. No more. I'm not wasting excessive energy on this stupidity. I'm not. And Belmont says, Jiren is a being who will never lose, no matter who he's up against. And apparently, if you guys aren't aware, apparently Jiren, they updated the little, I can't remember what the website is called, but basically there's a site that has all the universes, and Jiren's entry was updated where he thinks that his power is on the level of a god destruction. And Belmont is stating that right here, if I take his word to be 100% seriously, that if Jiren can beat no matter who, beat anyone, of course he can't beat anyone, obviously. I'm not going to take his word too seriously, but if he says that about Jiren and he holds him in such high regard, it is plausible that Jiren is stronger than Belmont from Universe 11, which means that the entry that they updated, saying that Jiren believes his power to be that of a god of destruction or greater, would be accurate. So that means that maybe that Goku might be stronger, if he beats him, might be stronger than half of the god of destructions in this tournament, because he's not. That doesn't mean he's gonna be stronger than Beerus, because Beerus is in the manga. If you haven't read the manga, basically in the manga, Beerus, he beats the shit out of like all the god destructions. So he's like top tier, damn near top tier. Like he bodied everyone. He's like in the top 3 strongest god destructions. So if Goku is capable of beating Jiren, who is stronger than Belmont, that means that he would be literally like, I would say maybe like in the top 20, like maybe top 20, one of the top 20 fighters in the multiverse. That's what Goku's power would be like. Because I'm not, like, I'm including the angels, because the angels are always stronger than their god destruction. So Margarita is stronger than this guy, but if Goku was stronger than Belmont, that means that Margarita would still be stronger than Goku. I mean, I guess they're trying to establish some hierarchy again, but it still, it doesn't mean anything in the broad scheme of things, because this is still just hype fest of power levels. The hype fest of power levels. They keep trying to establish this problem that we keep seeing with shonen anime, where they don't, the power creep and the power scaling, you have to be very clear where these powers stands. They fucked up at the start, where they didn't very clearly establish where Beerus stood in this hierarchy. They established where the Grand Supreme Kai, the Grand Kai or whatever, he's like the best fighter in the universe. And then above him is the guy, the multiverse buster, who can blow up anything, right? But the thing is, you didn't even explain what Super Saiyan God's multiplier is. Then you didn't explain what Super Saiyan Blue's multiplier is. So we have no idea what's going on. We're just trying to throw together the pieces. I have to make a lot of assumptions. I am wasting your time. You guys have your time wasted because you on your own time probably trying to theorize what's going on here. So ultimately, this hierarchy doesn't mean anything because you still haven't explained anything about anything in this entire series. Nothing. You haven't explained the powers in this series. It's just a clusterfuck of stupidity at this point. But finally, Jiren, because I don't want to go too far and speak too long on that, because I could waste my time on that for another half hour if I wanted to, right? But finally, Jiren and Goku, they start swapping hands, right? And you know, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, not Kaioken, but Super Saiyan Blue Goku fires Kamehameha at Jiren. I'm not gonna show it here, but Jiren actually dodges it. He dodges it. And you're like, why? Why does that matter? Why does that matter, ours? Why is that important? Remember, the Kale fight. The fight that made me start doing this. This whole series. This reviewing shit that I'm doing. Remember, Kale walked through a Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha, which he was thoroughly trying to beat her with. Because remember, he wasn't using his full power with Super Saiyan Blue, right? The first, when he fired the Kamehameha, she was still walking through it. But then he tried harder, and she was still walking through it. And then Jiren one-shotted her. So why is it that Kale can walk through Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha, but Jiren can't tank one of those? Why does he have to dodge? Why? Remember what I said, where the writers don't know what they're doing? I've said that maybe 5 to 10 times now. More solidification on my theory. He decides that he's going to go Kaioken, right? And it does nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. And Jiren palms this man up like a basketball. More Vietnam flashbacks to 100. And gets knocked clean out the ring. Or at least almost. But because Goku has plot armor, that can't let that happen. All the hype would go down the drain. Right, guys? All of it. So he goes even further into his Kaioken. Okay? And then Jiren bodies him. In an instant. You don't even see him move. He just bodies him. Instantly. Right? Does nothing. And then Krillin says something interesting. He says Goku should be able to stand using his Kaioken times 20 and blue. And then I asked the question, how do you know this, Krillin? How do you know how strong Goku has gotten? Have you seen Goku's true power? His full power since he's been training? Can you sense God Ki? Do you know all of Goku's limits? What's going on here? Why are the people who are spectating somehow know everything now? Are they omniscient? Am I missing something? And Beer states that he can't use Kaioken times 20, and the reason why he can't use it is because he's been using it the entire time. So Goku is fucked. Essentially. I guess that's what we're supposed to believe here. He's fucked. Except that we know he's not, because he's going to get a new transformation, which is going to make all this tripe pointless. And then we go through this little sequence of them giving energy. Even Frieza, for some reason, gives his energy. And Vegeta doesn't. Tsundere Vegeta doesn't give a damn about the fate of his universe now. I'm not gonna yell. Frieza gave energy for this attack. And he hates Goku with a passion. Vegeta is supposed to be one of his closest friends. And he decides now that he's not going to help. Think about that. Frieza helps. Vegeta doesn't. Do you understand how backwards that is? How absurdly backwards that is. Right? And I'm not even done speaking about this episode. I'm not even done. I don't even know how long I've been going for. I've probably been going for like 25 minutes already. And then they do this shit where Jiren is like, come at me with all your strength, with your spirit bomb, bro. Come at with all your strength. And then he's like, Kai is like, he takes his enemy's greatest attack and crushes it with overwhelming power. And this guy says, that's Jiren's style. Excuse me? You're acting like this is new. That's Goku's style. That's been his style since Z, my boy. Have you forgotten about the Frieza fight? You guys remember that, right? Remember when Goku let Frieza go to his 100% state so that he could beat the shit out of him and demoralize him completely and prove that any attempt of him beating Goku was futile? Wow, you recycled someone else's style. Wow. Wow, such innovation, writers. Wow. And of course, this pig is still here. Why are you still on my screen? Why are you still in this tournament? I don't... Vegeta hits her, but she's still in the tournament. So she doesn't have to do anything, at least. Vegeta hits her. She's still in the tournament. I don't understand why someone hasn't just, like, grabbed her by the neck and thrown her off the ring head first. I want to die. Right? And I'm not going to show all the sequences of the Spirit Bomb, because it doesn't matter. But instead, this is what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to tell you the logic, as directly stated by Goku, about the Spirit Bomb, okay? Because I really want to stop with this review. Okay, so essentially, to use a Spirit Bomb, one must have a pure heart so they can manipulate and gather energy. Otherwise, the move can backfire and possibly hurt or kill the user. Likewise, once a Spirit Bomb has been fired, It is possible for one with pure heart to deflect the technique, as Goku clarifies to Gohan and Krillin. However, a strong enough person can deflect it regardless of their morality, as shown when Kid Buu, who is stated to be pure evil, resists the Super Spirit Bomb. Right? So we already know that someone of pure heart can reflect this ability. The problem with him using the Spirit Bomb to begin with is he doesn't even know what type of purity of his heart is. He doesn't know if this guy is evil or good. He has no idea. So if Jiren's heart was, pure, completely pure, he would have reflected the Spirit Bomb right back at Goku with no effort because he's pure of heart. Okay? So this attack, on that point alone, would have made this entire thing pointless. But even given that, there is absolutely no way this attack would work regardless, because you can tell that Jiren has more stamina than Goku. Okay? He has been shown several times to be leagues beyond of what Goku was capable of. Everyone knew before he even gathered the energy to use the Spirit Bomb that it wasn't going to work. So why bother? This whole episode was a waste of time. And the writers don't even get it. This whole episode was a waste of time. You didn't even need to go through all of these motions. Why bother building hype for something that we already know is going to be leagues beyond what Goku is capable of in this episode? I already know what's going to happen. I already know. You guys know. I know. Everyone who's watching this knows that this wasn't going to work. No one. If you were literally so goddamn idiotic that you believed that this technique was going to work, you need to get your head checked. This wasn't going to work. And it didn't. So, what now? He gets his new transformation and everything's supposed to be okay? Where he gets another bullshit power-up. Is that it? Is that this entire series now? Just bullshitting more power levels out your ass? Similar things that we saw in Z? Because mind you, this Super was not the first to do this. Whether you guys realize or not, this shit was happening back in Z, where they just kept bullshitting new levels of power. Where because there was no established ceiling, we kept seeing power creep. It's done. And this is all because Akira Toriyama makes all this shit up on the fly. That's why. That's the reason why. And the writers just go with it. Because no one questions Toriyama-sensei. I'm done reviewing this. I'll review the next episode if you guys really want me to. I'll review it. Because I have it in my queue. It's there. You want me to watch and review it? I will. I haven't watched it yet. I didn't even bother watching the preview for the next episode because I don't care. But if you guys want me to watch it and break it down like I always do, let me know. Just let me know. I'm here. Let me know. I'm done here. R signing out.